Okay, welcome back to Helm's Deep Historic Site, where I open sealed products of the Lord of the Rings trading card game. Very underrated collection. This is where it all started. This is set one, released about a month before the first movie dropped. So, November 6th, 2001, this hit the stores. I was 10 years old. Went into the local card shop to buy some Pokemon cards after school and saw this on the shelf. I hadn't seen the movie yet, so I didn't buy it, but oh boy, after I did, this launched a lifelong obsession for Lord of the Rings. And I was collecting from the beginning. This is the first time I would have opened a box. I mean, I remember getting this exact box for Christmas that year, and I think that was the only time I would have opened one of these boxes. So, yeah, we're going back a long time here, folks. My nerves are shot. This is wild. For anybody keeping track of this stuff, I know some of the guys do. This is box number 066741. So this set, we have 365 cards, 121 commons, 121 uncommons, and 121 rares, with two promotional or premium cards, whatever the P means, that were exclusive to starter decks. Fun fact about this set, the movie would not let them include the Balrog because they didn't want any spoilers for the movie. So even though the Bridge of Khazad-dûm is the only Site 5 in the game at this point in time, people didn't really know what that meant when they first started until they saw the movie there. This cost about, so I'm in Canada, but to make everything easier on everybody else speaking US dollar terms, this cost about $210 US to buy. With such a 365 cards, this could go a lot of different ways, but there are a few cards that are worth enough that you could earn back the cost of the box with just one pull. So I hope we'll get lucky today with some nice foil cards, but even without the foils, there's just so many important cards for gameplay that I'd love to have or have more of, just for deck building things. So that's how it used to look in the store. Pretty sick. Like, you'd go in and you'd buy a booster pack for a couple of bucks, and it'd be all opened up like this. Let's see. I want to go over some of the big pulls here. Obviously, Isildur's Bane, the One Ring. If I can pull that into foil, that's about $350. Legolas Greenleaf, $250. Double Shot, the elf event that can get you to push the archery total higher up. One of those in a foil is $225. Morgul Gates at $200. That's a big hitter. Playing Nazgul, his cost is -2. Goblin Armory. So Goblin Armory, that is the $135 in a foil version, but in a non-foil version, it's still a $20 card. Arwen, Daughter of Elrond, $130. Cave Troll, Moria foil, $120. Gandalf, Friend of the Shire Folk, $120 in a foil. Lurtz, $100 in a foil. And Ullair Enkia, Lieutenant of Morgul, $100 in a foil. And then there's some great conditions and events that are just, their value is less of a collector's thing but more of a gameplay thing. Like, it's great to have for Goblin Armories if you're playing a Swarm deck. To buy one, they're $20 each because they're so rare and necessary. Goblin Swarm, same thing, about $20. And the list goes on and on. Hate, Servant of the Secret Fire, A Wizard is Never Late, The Last Alliance of Men and Elves, Savagery to match their numbers, Double Shot, Power according to his stature. Anyways, many of those cards I don't have. Some of them I went out and bought just for the sake of making decks. And I'd love to have more of for the sake of making more decks. All of those prices I just rhymed off. I quoted them from Category 1 Games. That's where I buy a lot of singles. They also have pretty cool grab packs too. So check them out. Scott Church, Utah. Go Utah Hockey Club, whatever your name will become. Okay. This is terrifying. Let's just get started, I guess. All right. Pack number 1. So there should be 6 foils in here. That was always my understanding, is that each box would have 6 foils. But I've seen some horror stories of that not happening and people breaking boxes and then only ending up with 2 or 3 foils. So that's a little spooky. I thought 6 foils was a guarantee, but from talking to people in the community, that is not the case anymore. So let's see. I think it's 5 from the back. It's been a while since I made a pack opening video. I kind of went on hiatus for a bit after I pulled that Reflections God pack, because it's like, well, what's next? You know, you pull the rarest pack in the collection's history, and it's like, okay, well then what happens? So going back to the basics here. All right, first card, Orc Inquisitor. I hate this son of a bitch. Whenever I'm playing a guy with a Sauron Orc deck, oh, I hate that. I hate the discard thing. Like, I played a game on Gemp today, and it was like every single turn, it was just like 3 to 5 cards I had to discard from my hand, and I couldn't pull Old Noaks, unfortunately. Anyway, let's go. Goblin Warrior. Farron. Hobbit Farmer. Defiance. Green Hill Country. That's a nice, the cinematography on display here. That would be a nice foil to have. Gift of Boats. This lost me a game today. Somebody had this in their support area, and I just, there's so much to consider when you're playing this game. You forget about a condition like this. You plan your end game thinking that your opponent can't move 3 in one turn, and then all of a sudden they do, and you don't have the army prepared to stop them. That sucked. Aragorn's Pipe. Love pipeweed decks. They're so fun. Oh, there we go. We're off to a good start. That's a friggin' great rare to have. Aragorn's Bow. Bear must be Aragorn. He is an archer. Exert Aragorn to wound a minion. Aragorn does not add to the Fellowship Archery total if you exert them. So this is the one where you can just start sniping off opponents. This is a good defense against Moria Swarm decks. Every Aragorn deck I have, I keep 2 of these in the deck. Online anyway. I only have 1 in real life, so now I have 2, and that's great. So I didn't do the pack trick right. That's okay. Saruman's Ambition. Mysterious Wizard. So I think it's 7 from the back then. I'm going to start stacking cards down here with the rare on top. All right, pack number 2. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's try this. Oh, okay. There we go. Already. Toll Brandier. Play up to 3 trackers from your discard pile and your shadow phase. That's a game-winning location to drop if you are running a deck with trackers in it. So Uruk-hai or Sauron orcs. I love that. I love the way they did that with the water being shiny and just so like, oh man, beautiful card. Okay, let's get that in a sleeve. This is, I have hope now. This is pretty awesome. I just like comparing this to like Pokemon cards and stuff. Like, imagine if Pokemon cards, every single card in the whole series was available in a holographic. How awesome that would be. I think that was such a good call from Decipher, not to just make like special cards shiny and holographic. Every single card in the first 10 sets, movie block, there's a foil version to go along with that. So, okay. What I'm going to do with the foils is as I pull them, I'm going to set them up in the background so you can see what we have here. Let's go. All right. What else we got? There's still 10 other cards in this pack. So, White Arrows of Lorien. Another discard cards from your hand condition. They are coming. That's a great one. That really helps. You know, when people are discarding your minions all the time, like with this stuff, this is an answer to get them out of that discard pile and back in the game. Uruk-hai Raiding Party. Anduin Banks. A lot of games I lost at this Site 8 when they have a bunch of goblin archers. That's an interesting card. You don't really see that come up in games. You know, it's just minions are only roaming so long. By the time you pull this card out of your deck, you may not even be able to use it. I love this. So if you've been playing Gemp lately, you probably played a guy that surprised you by dropping one of these. That's me. 99 times out of 100 when people are playing Moria Swarm decks, they don't keep events in their decks because that space in the deck is better reserved for just more cheap minions, because that's the overwhelm strategy. But because your opponent rarely, they know not to expect events like this to give up sneaky pumps to Moria orcs and goblins, and so I've won many games with this card just because people lined up their skirmishes not expecting an overwhelm, and then you just throw this on, and especially taking this. I've used this to kill Aragorn and Legolas a lot. Great card to have. I highly recommend. If you are playing a Moria Swarm deck on Gemp right now, just throw one of these in there as a wild card because it can win you games. Sauron's Defenses. You don't see that one come up a lot. Malorn Trees. Yeah, another one you don't see come up a lot. Lair Nertea. I don't know how to say their. I didn't even know they had names like this before the cards, right? And there's the rare. That's a great rare to have. Troll's keyword. Cave Troll Lemuria's Twilight cost is -2. So that's great. Love this guy. All right, third pack. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it is 7 if you want to save your rare for last. It is 7 from the back. Another Urukai Raiding Party. Another Anduin Banks. Another one of those. Can't have enough of them. Let Them Come. That's an interesting one. You don't see that one come up a lot, but there's some sensibility in that. Each time a dwarf wins a skirmish against an orc, discard that orc. Discard this condition if a dwarf loses the skirmish. So, yeah, I could see why. I mean, most orcs don't have a lot of vitality anyway, and most dwarfs have the damage bonus, so it's a rare occurrence that a dwarf would win a skirmish without actually killing the orc. So, yeah, it's kind of redundant. I don't know if redundant's the right word, but you know what I mean. Very important card. You want to have a few of those in any Hobbit deck. Strength Born of Fear. You don't see this one come up a lot either online. Plays your support area and remove 3 to make a Sauron Orc Strength +1. 3's a lot for a 1 pump. Haldir. I just, yeah, like that is such a cool function for a companion. While he's at sites, so he's an end game card, you know, that's really cool. It's funny, like he doesn't do much in the first movie. He's a big part of Two Towers. But here he is in the Fellowship of the Ring set. Grimer, like the Pokemon. I'm sorry, I'm not. Yeah. Grimir. I don't know how to say this man's name. Cool looking dude though. East Road. Each companion's Twilight cost is +2. Yeah. You don't see that one. I don't think I've ever seen, like, there's just so many better choices for a sight one. It's a cool graphic though. Like I remember this part of the movie where they just sort of zoom down this tunnel of trees, and that is haunting. That'd be a great foil. And what's the rare? Nobody tosses a dwarf. You should see the second movie. If a dwarf wins a skirmish, make an opponent discard 3 cards from the top of his or her draw deck. I just don't play like that. Like, I get it. Like, guys online want to be annoying as possible. Whenever I run into a discard deck, I'm just kind of like, are you playing or are you just trolling? Like, is it just fun for you to watch me discard every card in my deck that I thought so hard to curate here and take away? Like, I've had, oh man, I have a problem with the discard decks. They bother me. I don't want to start a fight though. This is a happy day. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, Goblin Warrior. Farron, Hobbit Farmer, Defiance, Urk Rager. We're having a Rager. Another discard thing. That was a big part of Fellowship block. Pathfinder. That's a cool one if it's really important for you to have your own sites on the field and not be playing on your opponent's home ice advantage, then throw one of these in there. Exert an orc to wound a character he's skirmishing. That's always fun to be on the other side of that. Shores of Nen. Spot 5 works to prevent the Fellowship from moving again this turn. That's another game-winning card to drop on someone. Blade Tip. Oh, Blade Tip's uncommon. I thought that was a rare. I mean, this is one of the big dogs. This is great. You put this in your support area, and then if your Nazgul wins a skirmish, you transfer this to your opponent, and it just depletes their vitality until they die, unless they're Frodo, and it adds burdens and corrupts them until they die. I think this card is a great example of why the game is so great, and the game is so great because it's the marriage of story and game mechanics. It's plot. It's whenever you see, like, this is not random. These are consequences of an action that lines up with the plot of the movie. You know, losing a skirmish to a Nazgul and part of his sword just gets stuck in you. I just love this friggin' game, man. Blade Tip all day. Through the Misty Mountains. To play Exert a Moria minion, plays to your support area each time the Fellowship moves to Site 4, 5, and 6 and contains a dwarf or elf. The player discards 2. See, just useless. Junk card. Don't, like, it just bothers me, man. You know, like, first of all, like, that's a lot to read. It slows down the game. Keep it simple. In the Ring Wraith's Wake. That's the rare? Yep. If a Nazgul wins a skirmish, the Free People's player chooses to either exert the Ring Bearer or add a burden. Yeah, that's, I mean, if Frodo or Sam is exhausted, then they have no choice but to add a burden. So corruption decks, you do see this come up. Yeah, that's a good one to have. All right, pack number 5. I'm gonna try to keep the video not as long as the other ones. Just trying to whip through these faster. 4, 5, 6, 7. Without, feeling like we're rushing here. I got all the time in the world. I just, I think I felt the last one's dragged on quite a bit. Galadriel's Glade, Site 6, Sanctuary. Exert an elf to look at an opponent's hand. Another example of game mechanics lining up with movie plot. That's her looking glass there, where she can see the future. So that makes sense. Okay. Urk Warrior. Spot 6 companions to make this minion fierce until the regroup phase. And that's another one, I just there's consequences for carrying too big of an army. It's all just so cool. Swordsman of the Northern Kingdom. Make a ranger strength +2 or strength +4 when skirmishing a roaming minion. Yeah, that's great. Frodo, son of Drogo. That's a great Frodo card. Exert another companion who has the Frodo signet to heal Frodo. So this is the signet we're talking about. So every companion, well, most companions, I don't think people like Haldir and stuff, has a signet. So an Aragorn court card may have a Frodo signet or a Gandalf signet or an Aragorn or a Theoden signet. So it's just a way of, yeah, some people plan their decks based on signets, others just ignore that, but that's a valuable way to heal Frodo. Lord of Moria, plays to your support area. Each dwarf is damage +1. And it's not a unique card. It would have a little asterisk there if it was. So you could have 4 of these down, and each dwarf is damage +4, which means they kind of just, if they win a skirmish, they're killing pretty much anything. Orc Soldier. That's a nasty little card. Exert this minion to wound a character he's skirmishing. So he's pretty much damage +1, except you got to exert to get that second wound on them. That's the way I see it. I mean, not technically, but Hobbit Sword, you want a bunch of those. Their numbers must be few. Plays to your support area while you can spot 7 companions. The move limit for this turn is -1 to a minimum of 1. It's pretty rare to see 7 companions unless you're playing in movie block. Yeah, I mean, that doesn't happen. There's too many consequences already for having 6 companions, let alone 7. Drawn to its power. Plays to your support area. Each time a Nazgul kills a companion in a skirmish, add a burden. Yep, you see that in a lot of Nazgul decks. Makes sense to me. Anduin Confluence. When the Fellowship moves to Anduin Confluence, discard every ally. Yeah, that can screw up a lot of people's games there. I like playing with allies. I like having a big support area full of allies, and I hate when that comes up. And the rare is Change of Plans. Exert a Ranger to make an opponent shuffle his hand into his draw deck and draw 8 cards. Gendered language there. That's wild. Sign of the times. His or her even. Jesus. All right. Pack 6. Oh. Just gave that away. Oh, man, that's sick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Goblin Scimitar. Yeah, I mean, every Moria deck has 4 of these in them. That's just 101. Sleep card. Sleep. Exert Gandalf to discard every condition. Yeah, that's very important card. Very important card for a Gandalf deck. But keep in mind, it's every condition on the active board. So this is when I first used this in a game of Gemp. I was like, oh snap! Like I didn't realize I just discarded all of my own Fellowship Free People's conditions. So if it's my turn and I'm the Free People side, and it's your turn and you're the Shadow player side, I could use this and discard all your Shadow conditions, but at the same time, all of my active conditions, which would be my Free People's conditions, would get discarded too. So in this game, when it's my turn to be the Fellowship, Free People's side, the good guys, your Fellowship doesn't exist. So any of your Free People's Fellowship conditions, that's in another universe. So this wouldn't affect things in the other universe. That's the way I like to explain the game to people. It's like we are living in 2 separate alternate realities. This is your plan to get Frodo to Site 9. This is mine, and we're sitting around the Council of Elrond debating tactics, running scenarios, and yeah. So just be mindful of that, because all your conditions go away too, but not your bad guy conditions, of course. So this wouldn't discard your Moria Swarms and stuff like that. Shadow's Reach. Exert a Sauron Orc to discard a Free People's condition. Goblin Patrol Troop. Yeah, that's a sick card. 13 strength is a lot for goblins. 3 vitality. Hell yeah. Exert a Dwarf Companion to draw 3 cards. That's nice. Like that. Stout and Sturdy. Maneuver or Skirmish. Heal a Hobbit. Okay, so just a free heal. Well, not a free. It costs 1. Make an elf strength +2 or strength +4 if skirmishing an archer. LotR TCG. I thought, okay, yeah, so I thought this was the rare, but it's just an uncommon. But this is the reason people keep their fellowships small. If there's 6 companions on the board, he has the power to just headhunt one of them. He can just wipe out someone completely. Spot 6 companions or 5 burdens and exert LotR TCG to wound a companion except the ring bearer. So yeah, it's pretty hard to stop that. Nasty card. Ooh, what is this? The Dark Lord's Summons. Great visual. To play, spot a Mordor Sauron Orc, whatever you say. Plays to your support area. Remove 3 to reveal the top card of your draw deck. If it is a Mordor Orc card, or Mordor card, take it into hand. Otherwise, discard it. And 1 other card from hand. See, that's just too much reading. People don't put this in their deck because they don't want to read that much. Uruk-hai Rampage. Plays your support area. Spot an Uruk-hai to play it. If your Uruk-hai wins a skirmish, remove 3 to make him fierce until the regroup phase. Not bad. 3's a lot. 3's hard to come by. Urks are expensive. That's the rare there. To play, exert a Sauron Orc. Plays your support area. If you can spot 5 burdens and the Free People's player has no cards in his or her draw deck. There we go. Some gender inclusive language. I don't give a shit about that. I'm just joking, guys. The ring bearer is corrupted. So that just speeds up the game. Like if you're playing the very annoying Sauron discard deck and you can totally deplete someone's deck until they have 0 cards left, then as soon as 5 burdens are spotted on Frodo, the game is over. It's pretty, that's a wild strategy. It does, you do see it from time to time, but it's not very common. Anyway, let's keep it going here. Pack 7. 7th pack magic. Lucky number 7. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 from the back. Another Swordman of the Northern Kingdom. Another Frodo, son of Drogo. Lord of Moria. Orc Soldier. Hobbit Sword. White Arrows of Lorien. They are coming. Worry. We haven't pulled one of these yet. This is great to have in an Uruk-hai deck. Especially if you can get it out early in the game, because every single time an Uruk-hai wins a skirmish, it's doing damage to Frodo. So either by exerting him or adding a burden, and that really can pile up over time. So I usually, in my Uruk-hai deck, I keep 2 of these just to increase my chances of drawing it, but there could even be an argument made to keep 3 of these if that's your game plan. LotR Ostia. Exert LotR Ostia to make a Wraith minion fierce. Bree Gates. It's so freaking sweet. That's a iconic scene. When you can spot a ranger, the move limit is +1 from this turn. Oh, man. And there's the rare. Oh, my God. That's a great Elrond. That's my favorite Elrond card in the game. Because he heals himself every turn, and you can just exert him to draw cards. So I just, you have to spot Gandalf or another elf to play him. You know, he doesn't just show up for anybody. Yeah, I mean, my God, almost every Fellowship deck I have, I want to have him in it. Let's keep it going, keep it going. All right. Pack number 8. I think it's foil time. I'm ready for another foil. Are you? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Dwarven Axe. Another discard strategy. Orc Scimitar. Remove 1 to make bear strength +1, limit 3. It's a good card. That's a good weapon. Elven Bow. This is 3 weapons in a row from this pack. That's pretty cool. Weapons are sick. Elven Bow. Urk Messenger. Damage +1. When you can spot a weather condition, this minion is strength +3. Okay. Mary from Or the Brandywine. When Mary bears a weapon, he is strength +2. That is awesome. You know, put a Hobbit sword on him, and he's strength 7 overall now. I mean, he's obviously the toughest of the hobbits. I mean, well, no, I mean, Sam's pretty tough, but this is my second favorite Mary card from I think of all of them, because, you know, the first one is obviously the one where he can double exert to jump over and help someone in their skirmish and add his strength to someone else. When used in conjunction with Boromir, it becomes this super cool card combination. But if you're, for whatever reason, you want to go in a different direction, maybe you're building an Aragorn Signet deck, yeah, this is a great option. Intimidate. If a companion is about to take a wound, spot Gandalf to prevent that wound. Great, love that. Pin down. Plays to your support area while you can spot a Moria archer. The Fellowship archery total is -1. Stand Against Darkness. Exert an elf to discard a Sauron minion, a condition, or possession. I love this one. Ulernelia, however you say that. Exert him and spot an opponent's sight to replace it with your sight of the same number. So, yeah, that can certainly change the game. I think people underestimate the value of the sights sometimes. That they're such a critical part of the game, and there's few cards like this that can change the battlefield. So I love that one. Passive something. Spot a Isengard minion to play a weather card from your draw deck. Limit 1 per turn. Beautiful, beautiful snowy mountain. Albert Dreary. Love that I have this now. I don't have one of these. This is Peter Jackson. This is the Peter Jackson card. He's eating a carrot in the rainy streets of Bree. Nice little background actor cameo. I think Peter Jackson also was one of those pirates on the boat in Return of the King, and I think he might have also been a soldier at Helm's Deep. I think he did one little background gig in each of the movies, which is pretty cool. That would be a great foil to have. And there's great game utility here. To play spot Gandalf, so Albert Dreary must be a friend of Gandalf. Exert Albert Dreary to discard a Isengard or Moria condition. There's lots of those that you want to make go away, so great card to have in a deck. All right. Pack 9. Pack 9 of 36. Only one foil. Another Goblin Patrol Troop. It'll speed up once I've run out of the things to say because we've drawn all these. Exert a Dwarf Companion to draw 3 cards. Some of them I'm just so unfamiliar with because you just don't see them. Sauron's Ambition, we already drew one of those. Mysterious Wizard, that was the first one we drew. Threshold of Shadow, make a Nazgul Strength +2 or Strength +4 if you can spot 5 burdens. Makes sense, good card for a Nazgul deck. Make an Uruk-hai Fierce until the regroup phase, costs 3, so that'd be a tough one to pull out. Dremel Dale, I mean every Moria deck has this as their site 6 usually. The Twilight cost of the first Moria Orc played, each shadow phase is -2. Yeah, it's just that's when they came out of Khazad-dûm and saw the sunlight for the first time after Gandalf fell, and this is where they had that moment of grief. That iconic sequence. I gotta go to New Zealand and see this place for myself. This is a real place. Like, I gotta go see that. Oh man, yeah, hell yeah, Glamdring. That's the rare. Bearer must be Gandalf. He is damage +1. Fellowship or regroup. Exert Gandalf to reveal an opponent's hand. Remove 1 for each orc revealed. So it's the same function as Sting. Yeah, man, that's just a great card. Great weapon. Every Gandalf deck has one. There's a few other Glamdring cards as the sets go on and on that may have more interesting functions than that, but for Fellowship block, yeah, whenever there's Gandalf in a deck, there's that too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Axe Strike. Breeding Pit. If you play an Uruk-hai, take all copies of that card in your discard pile and place them beneath your draw deck. Underrated. There's an argument to be made to put one of those in my Uruk-hai deck. Orc Chieftain. When you play a weapon on this minion, add 2. That's nice. That's a nice one. Sorry about everything. Exert a Hobbit Companion to remove a burden. It's just a sad frame. Risk a little light. If the Twilight pool has fewer than 2 Twilight tokens, spot Gandalf to look at the top 2 cards of your draw deck, take 1 into hand and discard the other. Yeah. Light-footedness. Spot an Elf Companion to make the minion archery total -1. Goblin Marksman. That's just a great shot right there. Morgul Skulker. When you play this minion, you may shuffle up to 2 Wraith cards from your discard pile into your draw deck. So he should really, I mean, this was in the first set, there was no orcs of the Wraith culture or the Morgul culture, but you know, he is from Morgul, so he should be. Brownlands. For each minion archer at the Brownlands, The minion archery total is +1. Yeah, I've been killed here many times by archers. Pisses me off every time. No stranger to the shadows. This is an integral part of what they call choke decks. Choke decks are when your primary objective is just to reduce the amount of twilight on the board so your opponent can't really do much. Morgul Hunter, that's the rare. For each companion you can spot, this minion is strength +1. Yeah, that's a great orc. Happy to have him. Okay. I'm just gonna rip it. I thought I was gonna try to preserve it. Impossible. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, 7. 7 from the back. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Frig, man. My luck is turning around. Wow. That's a rare foil. And it's an important one. The Gaffer. Sam's father. Exert the Gaffer to heal Frodo or Sam. Oh, wow. I knew a foil was coming soon. So, I am going to put him in a green sleeve. Green for hobbits. That is a great pull. Just to get a rare foil, like, of any rare foil would be awesome, but a character rare like that, yeah, wow. And put him in a sleeve protector too, because I can't remember how much money he's worth. It's not about the money, but damn, that's a nice card. Maybe worth grading. I got a buddy, Ate. Shout out Ate if you're watching. We're talking about doing a PSA run together. I do want to get all of the cards that came out of that Reflections God pack graded. But this might also be a candidate. The Gaffer. I'll take it. I'll take that all day. Okay. We're up to 2 foils now. What else is in this pack? Plundered Armories. That's a sneaky little condition. Plays to your support area. If your Moria weapon is discarded, play it from your discard pile. So if one of your orcs has a scimitar or an axe and he's killed, then the weapon would be not killed but discarded, and you could shift that weapon to one of his buddies in the swarm. Same goes if your Moria orc wins the skirmish and you have the Moria swarms condition set up, and he can, instead of going to the discard pile, go there. The weapon can't go there. The weapon gets discarded, so the weapon can move over to one of the other buddies in the swarm. Entenmores. Exert a companion or minion to make that character strength +2. Love that. That's the classic horse race scene. Like, man, this was one of the best, like, in an action movie where, oh my god, I mean, it like, every action sequence doesn't have to be some big battle. This was a horse race to decide the fate of their universe. The stakes were so high, and that's what made the scene so special. It's like, if Arwen loses this race, the world comes to a fucking end. And the tension in that scene, this is probably the greatest horse race scene ever put to camera. I didn't watch that movie about the horse. What was his name? Anyway, this is the most important horse race of all time. Crazy card, crazy scene. Their halls of stone make a dwarf strength +2 or 4 if at underground site. There's the meme right there. One does not simply walk into Mordor. Noble intentions. Exert a companion except a hobbit to make a hobbit strength +3. That is all in line with the plot of protecting the hobbits, protecting the ring bearer. Code of mail. Bear must be a man. Bear may not be overwhelmed unless his strength is tripled. You don't see that a lot because the regular armor just has a better utility and you can't have 2 sets of armor on you at the same time. Sauron's Chill, that's a weather condition. To play, exert a Isengard minion. Plays on a site, limit 1 per site. Each hobbit who moves from this site must exert. Discard this condition at the end of the turn. A host avails little. Spot a Sauron orc and 6 companions to wound a companion except the ring bearer. Do this once for each companion over 5. Another just consequence to keeping a big fellowship. Relentless. This is an event. If a stealth event is played, spot 3 Moria minions to cancel that event. Yeah, I mean, that could be a game-winning card right there. All those Hobbit stealth cards that allow them to run from skirmishes and hide in the first 5 sites. I mean, yeah, I didn't even know this card existed. I'm not sure why you don't see it more. I mean, I think I know the answer, and the answer is that if you're building a goblin deck, your entire goal is to to swarm your opponent and overwhelm the ring bearer. So the space in that deck is better used for an extra orc, but that's an interesting one. I think I'll try that out. Buckleberry Fairy, love this location. I play with a deck called Buckleberry Balrog in Movie Block. I love the Buckleberry Fairy, especially when you're running 4 hobbits and you're starting Fellowship. While only hobbits are in the Fellowship, there are no assignment and no skirmish phases at Buckleberry Fairy. Again, connected to plot, they run and jump on the ferry, and the Nazguls can't get them. Legendary scene, and Decipher, the way they did this is just so brilliant. I can't say that enough. Alive and unspoiled. Alive and unspoiled. So that's the rare. Never seen this one as far as I can remember. Cool graphic, or cool frame. To play, exert an Uruk-hai, plays your support area, remove 3 and spot X burdens to make the free people's player reveal X cards at random from their hand. You may discard 1 revealed card. Yeah. It's a lot, man. It's a lot to read, a lot to consider. Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So this is 12. Wow, this is crazy. What a privilege it is to be able to do this. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Orc Scimitar, Elven Bow, Urk Messenger, Marry, Intimidate, Pin Down. Elendil's Valor, make a Gondor companion defender +1 until the regroup phase. That's a great one to have. Goblin Sneak, when you play this minion, you may place a Moria orc from your discard pile beneath your draw deck. Rivendell Terrace, play a man to draw a card. That's a beautiful, colorful location. That would be a great foil too. Ranger Sword, awesome. Can't have enough of those. There we go. Oh, so this is as far as rare cards go in this set, this is the best one to pull. This is the most valuable non-foil card in the whole set. Every single Moria Swarm deck has 4 of these in it, hence why it's so rare, because there's just such a demand for them. Yeah, like it's so different playing online compared to playing when you were a kid, because it's like, of course, online on GAMP you have access to every card in the database, so why not put 4 of these in your deck? But back in the day, you had to grind to find these cards, and you know, if you had owned 4 of these, you must have opened a lot of packs or did some good trading, because they're hard to come by, and when you have 4 of them, it's a winning strategy. And just to get 1 or 2 in your deck back then was hard. So this is the first one I've pulled. I mean, I'm sure I did when I was a kid, but yeah, I mean, this is as good as it gets without it being a foil. And I recently bought 4 of these online for about $20 each, but now I have a 5th, so I am very, very happy with that. Okay, wow. It's so much like with, oh man, like most of the people that collect Pokemon cards, like they don't even play the game. These are not just collectibles for me. Like, I am passionate about how fun this game is. So it is a big win just to draw cards that have game utility. Yeah, it doesn't matter what they're worth to me. I just say that because I know some people watching these videos, it does matter to them. Not to me. I wish I could draw 3 more Goblin Armories. I would rather do that than get some of the foils. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Orc Chieftain. We've already talked about him. Light-footedness, Goblin Marksman, Galadriel's Glade, Urk Warrior. Spot 6 companions to make this minion fierce until the regroup phase. That's cool. Another one of the punishments for carrying a big army around. The Gaffer's Pipe. I love that. We got the Gaffer and his pipe. Discard a Pipeweed possession and spot X pipes to remove X Twilight. Great for a choke deck. Mithril Mine. Remove 1 to play a shadow weapon from your discard pile. How did it get so blue down there? Oh, that's the light from Gandalf's staff, isn't it? I'm not sure. Must be. Gandalf's cart. Or is that the light from Sting? I can't remember that scene. Gandalf's cart. I have a whole deck built around Gandalf's cart and that location, that number 1 location that I bid high on to pull every time. That lets you find this from your deck. People don't like to fill their deck with weapons because they clog up your hand if you're waiting for the right character to come along. But with Gandalf's cart, you can just chuck all your weapons and all your possessions in the cart and in your support area. They don't clog up your hand, and you can play them right out of the cart. It's one of my favorite possessions in the game. I just love it. Wealth of Moria, that's the rare. Spot a dwarf to reveal the top 3 cards of your draw deck. Take all the Free People's cards revealed into hand and discard the rest. Yeah, I like that for a dwarf deck. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. We are coming into hour 2 here. We're almost halfway done. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Long bottom leaf. That's just weed, man. That's weed that the hobbits smoke. And Aragorn and Gimli and Gandalf. Everybody except Legolas and Boromir in the Fellowship has their own pipe. I wish they made more pipes and pipe weeds in the later sets. I think it's a shame that they never did that. I prefer the other. So this is the indica version of hobbit weed, rather than the sativa, which would be Old Toby. Yeah, I have one deck called Heavy Smokers and Goblins, and I keep 3 of these and 4 of the other one. I just love it. I love pipe weed. Urk Savage, that's I think that's the cheapest Urk you can have. It only costs 2 to put out. Doesn't have any special effects, just the damage bonus. Lorien Elf, to play Spot an Elf, and it's not unique. So your starting Fellowship just could be 4 of these chicks. I don't think that would end well for you, but it's a concept. Can never have enough of these. The One Ring, the Ruling Ring. This is not Isildur's Bane, not the rare version, but yeah, I mean, you need those. Every deck needs a ring. Goblin Backstabber. Love this little scamp, sneaky bastard. This minion is damage +2 while in the same skirmish as another orc. So yeah, damage +2. That is killing a lot of companions. There and back again. Love this card. Bearer must be a hobbit. Discard this condition to make each hobbit companion strength +2 until the regroup phase. So that's a nice secret weapon that you can use when you're in trouble. Gondor's Vengeance. Exert a ranger companion to discard a minion. That's pretty cool. Curse from Mordor. Spot a Mordor orc to discard an elf condition. That's cool. Moria's Stairway. Each companion and minion bearing a hand weapon is damage +1. That's a cool card too. There's so many options for locations. The 9 Servants of Sauron. Plays to your support area. Each time you play a Nazgul, you may exert a hobbit except the Ringbearer. And a rare Pippin. When you play Pippin, remove a burden or a wound from a companion. That's a great Pippin. Great to get another character rare. That's wonderful. Okay. Let's keep it going. 14. This is pack 15. Oh, yeah, we're not even halfway. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They're Halls of Stone. Make a dwarf strength +1 or 4 if at an underground site. Noble Intentions. Coat of Mail. Saruman's Chill. Scimitar. Sleep. Sauron's Reach. Exert a Sauron arc to discard a free people's condition. Yeah, that's great. Boromir's Cloak. Bearer must be Boromir. Exert Boromir to discard a weather condition. That makes sense. It's a cloak. Frozen by Fear. Make a Nazgul strength +2 or 3 if the Ringbearer is assigned to a skirmish that is not resolved. Okay. Weather Hills. Each Nazgul's Twilight cost is -1. Greatest Kingdom of My People. That's the rare. Exert a dwarf to play this condition. Plays to your support area. Each time your opponent plays an orc, that player discards the top card of his or her draw deck. Yeah, don't like that one. All right, pack 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Urk Savage. Lorien Elf. Another Ruling Ring. Backstabber. There and back again. Gondor's Vengeance. Dwarven Axe. Emyn Mule. Exert a minion to make that minion fierce until the regroup phase. That is a great Sight 9. I usually prefer the Sight 9 that lets you draw cards for the amount of burdens you have, because I'm just so scared of being screwing. I mean, if you end up at Sight 9 and you don't have minions ready to go, you've obviously already made some mistakes. And that burden draw card location, that just gives you more options. If you're playing with a Moria Goblin Swarm deck, you're not going to have this as your Sight 9, because most of those don't really have the vitality to exert. So this is for Uruk-hais, really. This is what you do when you're playing with Uruk-hais. Sword of Minas Morgul. Bearer must be Uller Lemenya. He is damage +1. Exert Uller Lemenya to discard a possession borne by a character he's skirmishing. Can't think of anything more annoying than that. When you're skirmishing a Nazgul and they discard your sword, like they just unarm you, and then yeah, it's brutal. Great if you're a Nazgul, but brutal if you're anyone else. Master Proudfoot, distant relative of Bilbo. I mean, this is what an icon. That's a big man. If the Twilight pool has fewer than 3 Twilight tokens, add 2 to reveal the top 3 cards of your draw deck. Take all Hobbit cards revealed into hand, discard the rest. I usually play with a lot of Hobbit allies. There's just more interesting ones than this, but that would be a cool foil. I can't think of, like background actors in this series that you just remember, like this man with his feet up. Like, this is just a random background actor in New Zealand, and he's just forever eternalized in this card. I think that's so cool. And there's a rare Atar, Man of Lake Town. Another just random background actor. I wonder if he even knew his character's name was Atar on the day. Probably not. To play Spock Gandalf, exert Atar to discard up to 3 cards from your hand and draw an equal number of cards. Yeah, that's a great ally. Great to get another character rare. 1, 2, 3, 4. We've pulled 5 character rares so far. Love it. That's great. Pack 17. All right, we're getting towards the juicy middle here. We're gonna start having some major luck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's just man, there's some cards in here that could, I want a Legolas Greenleaf foil. I won't stop till I get one. Dagger Strike. Love that. I love that it's an event that you can use on either Gondor men or hobbits, pending that they're bearing a hand weapon. Shoulder to Shoulder. Plays to your support area. Add 1 and exert a dwarf to heal an elf, or vice versa. That's pretty cool. Uruk Shaman. Remove 2 to heal an Uruk-hai. Battle Fury. Exert a dwarf to make that dwarf strength +3 and damage +1. Frenzy. Assign an exhausted companion except the ring bearer to skirmish an orc. That's another sneaky option for a Moria deck. Yeah, I like that. I used to keep one in one of my Gemp decks. It's just the stars kind of have to align for this to really to use this card correctly. A few things have to go right. But yeah, it's a nuke bomb for sure. Moria Lake. When the Fellowship moves to Moria Lake, Frodo and 2 other companions must exert. That makes sense because they are short and they would have a harder time wading through the water. Good thing the lake is entirely safe and there's nothing evil living inside it. Strength of Spirit. If a companion is about to exert, spot Gandalf to place no token for that exertion. Yeah. I mean, whatever. Bag End. That would be a great foil to have. Exert a Hobbit to play the Gaffer. Lots of Gaffer themed stuff in this deck, or this box. Exert a Hobbit to play the Gaffer from your draw deck. Yeah, that's pretty sweet. Yeah, this is a nuclear card that pisses me off every time it comes up. Exert a Isengard minion to discard all conditions. All conditions. So, like I said before with the other one, this would be your bad guy conditions, but not your good guy conditions when you play this. Tower Lieutenant. Each time this minion wins a skirmish, the Free People's player gets trolled and discards 2 cards at random from their hand. They don't even get to pick which cards. It's just random. That could be anything. That could be your game-winning card just being taken away from you. And that's the rare. The Underdeeps of Moria. Plays to your support area. Remove 3 to reveal the bottom card of your draw deck. If it is an orc, take it in your hand. Otherwise, discard it. That's a gamble. Okay. I think this is pack 18. If my math is correct, I think this is the halfway pack. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Shoulder to shoulder. Uruk Shaman. Battle Fury. Frenzy. Moria Lake. Strength of Spirit. Longbottom Leaf. Breland Forest. Stealth events may not be played. There's no hiding in Breland Forest. Gandalf's Pipe. Love it. Discard a pipeweed possession and spot X pipes to remove X burdens. Absolutely every day. Relentless Charge. Exert a Nazgul to wound every archer companion. Morgul Blade. Bearer must be a Nazgul. This weapon may be born in addition to one other hand weapon. Discard this possession to transfer blade tip from your support area, or discard pile to a companion bearer is skirmishing. From the discard pile, from the rafters. That's crazy. What a great rare to have. Yeah, love that. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Okay, halfway done. I think I'm going to take a quick break and get right back into it and upload these in part 1 and part 2. I'll do it on the same day though. Yeah, just want to break this one up into 2 videos so I can have it. It is a marathon to open these packs, and yeah, I need a little brain rest, and I will get right back into it. So the halfway mark, 18 packs. We have 2 foils and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 character rares. So I think we're off to a great start. I'm hoping to see 4 more foils, maybe even a double foil pack in the next one. We're going to take a quick break and be right back.